Hey, what's up guys? How's it going? So, you guys probably do not know this, and if you don't already, you probably should pick up on the fact that the summer carnival is going on, where basically you can invest them all to earn 50x on whatever these days are. So you never really know what the heck is going to be available. I, for one, think S3 is going to be huge because, hey, there's PS5. There's phones available and all sorts of stuff. Now, one of the things you should know is on July 12th, we will be having a perk event going on for Aptoide, so make sure to check that out. So, that said, of course, I'm investing all of mine on S3 because of reasons, okay? But of course, you can do any of your tasks, so just make sure to do your tasks every day, and then, of course, maybe you'll get lucky. You never know. Prize announcements at 24, which is basically at midnight for most people, I think, but it varies depending on what your time zone is, so just make sure to check your ETC time to kind of get an idea of what time it is, and you'll know from there. That said, today's video, we're going to kind of go over a couple of things, mainly for the Plume Monarch build. One of the things that I thought would be kind of nice is to kind of show you guys where my build is, and also kind of give you a whole overview of what I've got so far. So one of the things that you'll notice is that every piece of gear I have, okay, I'm always struggling at first, right? But the basic bottom line is any increase to my combo, I'm going to grab, okay? And what I'm doing is basically, yeah, it looks like a ginormous loss to bring down my crit rate ever so slightly, but my 92% combo rate is causing me to basically combo like absolutely nutter every freaking time. Now, one of the things that I strive to do and always tell you guys to do is always make sure that you are increasing the amount of your relics, but do them evenly, because the nice benefit of doing it that way is that then if you ever want to tweak something, like say, I don't know, I have a crit rate of 40, if I just pop on that combo and I do that small little change, right? Instead of having a crit rate of 40, I have now a combo rate of 102%. And, that means I'm going to combo 100% of the time, which is pretty badass. But then, of course, you need to do a ton of damage on top of that. Now, the thing about it is you kind of have to know in advance what exactly are you going to be wearing for both a mount, which I happen to be using the magic carpet, and then also what are you going to be using for an artifact, which, as you guys have probably picked up on, there are a lot of different artifacts out there that you can choose from nowadays. Like, not that long ago, we had the web chainsaw where you can get, an increase with, there's just so many little details, right, that the people have probably picked up on. Like right now, there's Joyous Celebration where you can do your combinations, so there's a lot of stuff going on there, right? But the main thing is like I'm still using Anubis, which I think Anubis still makes a lot of sense to me in terms of what I'm gaining out of both his current counter damage bonus and the skill damage bonus and the combo damage bonus and the debuff that you also get on their attack, which I think having a debuff is pretty advantageous for 15% of that going towards your bonus. As opposed to like where, like, say if you get the Midnight Firefly, you're gonna basically increase the target's damage received by 15%. And it's a different way of approaching this, but you're basically either going to reduce the damage that they're going to inflict upon you, or you're going to increase the damage you inflict upon them. And how you decide which one over the other is really going to be dependent on how you decide to play. That said, of all the other avians that are out there to choose from, I'm going to strictly go with Anubis for now until I really change my mind, which I don't think is going to happen anytime soon. That said, as far as the actual souls are concerned, I have the Wildlife Piercer and I have a Blade Duo. Now, the quality of the actual pink soul here, you'll see it here at the top right. And you'll notice I have a but a legendary Wildlife Piercer, which is super, super great. I'm hoping that I can get more pink souls acquired over time. And in case you're wondering, what of those will you be going for next? Basically, once I've got Blade Duo and Wildlife Piercer, then I'm going to more than likely go in directions where I'm going to either increase the likelihood that I'm going to get a crit bonus, or I'm going to go for things like Bloodstained Blade, where I'll increase my global attack and my healing rate, or I could just as easily go down the Immortal Spirit route and get more HP and regen. Either way, the point being is that you're ultimately going to be trying to strive for the best possible souls that you can get at your disposal. Outside of that, of course, you guys have probably picked up on the, for example, like, as far as the set that I've always used, I'm using... So these are the skills that I prefer to use in my Plume Monarch build, but you're more than welcome to change and flip-flop that as much as you like. Pals-wise, this is what I'm currently using. I will more than likely, once I get the octopus, I'm going to swap the octopus out, more than likely, for either what I get in Chickenhood, or for what I get in Hero Bird, or what I get in Treasure. It just depends. I might swap the Treasure Dragon out for the octopus, but we'll just kind of have to wait and see. I'll have to play around with it once I actually get him acquired, because right now I'm still kind of speculating whether or not that's going to work the way I hope it does. But I genuinely know for a fact that everybody across the board is going to want Righteous Banana if you're going for a Plume Monarch build. That's just a given. And then the lizards are a really nice bonus to that, because you're going to get a lot of pal damage, which I think a lot of people kind of ignore and don't pay as much attention to, but it is super helpful to have, given that you've got a lot of damage coming from your pals as it is anyway. So that said, as far as the actual artifacts are concerned, you've got the enchantments, which, as right now, I'm still kind of tweaking it as I kind of move towards better and higher quality. Basically you try to get 4 of these to be of the same type, and then you swap 2 of them to be the other type, and that way you get basically whatever bonus that you're currently focusing in on, which in my case is combo. I'll have 4 combo, and then I'm going to more than likely pair that up with either something that is going to improve the basic attack that I have. I could just as easily work on something like Global Crit. There's not necessarily a wrong answer here, unless it's not going to be contributing anything in this build, which there's a lot of choices that are probably not very good. Like Mana Mastery is probably not a bad choice by any means. But, again, just kind of working towards whatever goal, that I can gain towards the build. That's ultimately what I'm going to try and do. It just depends on how many of those enchants that I can get. And again, you're kind of luck of the draw with that. So it does take a while to actually acquire the proper enchants for the build. But beyond that, that is pretty much what I've currently got set up. And it works fine as far as the PvP element goes. The only thing you really have to adjust in the sets for the actual individual skills is, so like if you are going to go on the defensive route of things, you can obviously tweak this, so maybe you're, instead of using say like a pair of Clone Shield and Clone Strike, you could take the Clone Strike out, or you can put the Clone Strike in without the Shroom Shield. You can vary it however you want, and that's the nice thing, is you can kind of tweak this as much as needed to kind of do more damage. But if anything, it will wind up probably doing a lot of your tweaks and really kind of 2 places. The first tweak, you'll do a lot of it in the prayer statue, where you can either increase the amount of crit and then some combo you do, or I'm currently working on my 4th set a full combo, which I think is ultimately what you want. You want full combo if you can get it. So like right now, I just haven't had any luck, so we'll just keep running these until, with any luck, we'll hit a full combo build. And it just takes a while, but that's what ultimately what you want to do as far as the prayer statue is concerned, is go full combo. Of course, as far as your tech tree goes and what you gain in overall overarching stuff is just going to vary depending on what you're doing at the time. But most, if not all of that, has really kind of been tilted in that direction as far as my Plume Monarch build is concerned. I will say that the only thing that is kind of disappointing about it is, like if, let's say, for example, you want to improve the amount of damage that you're doing, it is going to be obviously tilted in such a way that unless you're going out of your way to do like heavy and dark trials, you'll eventually hit a roadblock. Really, about the only thing I've gotten lucky for right now is that in the Cloud Ascension, I've got a 43k power player that happens to be a combo build. And one of the things that's nice about complementing a PvE build with a combo build is that a combo build will do a stupid amount of damage with combo, and the other PvP-centric build, which is a counter build, is really going to be helpful for any damage that goes towards it. So they really work well together when you pair them together in something like Cloud Ascension. So I'm really able to get a lot further down in Cloud Ascension than I thought it was ever going to. It's going miles in the direction that I thought it was never going to. Now, of course, you might be wondering why I am going head over heels. If there's anything in a Cloud Ascension that I'm actually diving all in on, it's actual PAL tokens, because I'm hoping that one of these times I'll actually finally get the actual needed pieces for both Eternal Gear, which, as you guys have probably heard, is really good. But again, getting to Eternal Gear requires a stupid amount of lamps. Plus, you've also got to get all of that energy focused in on actually acquiring it in the first place, right? Which is going to be kind of a challenge in and of itself. I don't really know how long it's going to take me to actually acquire it, but again, this is kind of where I'm at in the game, and that's where I'm ultimately focusing a lot of my efforts in. But, if in any case, and that's pretty much everything as far as the build is concerned. So, I mean, if you want to know more, feel free to ask, but if anything, make sure you're grabbing your gift boxes and enjoy your wonderful day, guys. But as far as the Plume Monarch build, that is where I'm currently at with it, and I'm still tweaking it as I go along. So if anything, I guess one of the things I can show you is actually the timing. So the timing, I've got the second skill at 1.5 seconds and no delay on the rest. So I'm only kicking off disarm after 1.5 seconds just to give myself a 3-second delay, which just kind of works because basically by having Shroom Shield pop off and Clone Strike at the beginning, I kind of give myself a little bit of an advantage. And because I have Magic Carpet, there's always that chance that I may get lucky and proc either another Clone Strike, which would be really helpful. But again, these are all things that you don't really have a whole lot of control over. Needless to say, though, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.